Hey everyone, it's David here and welcome back to my studio. I'm making this video to talk about Instagram and specifically using hashtags within Instagram to improve your reach and to put your work in front of people who may not know you at the moment. So hashtagging is a way for Instagram to organize the posts that appear on there by theme or content. Really, without the tags, it would be very difficult to be able to sort of categorize anything on there. There are billions and billions of photos, so the tags are a way to identify what the content of your photos is, and for people searching for that content, so they're able to find it easily. You can add up to 30 hashtags to your regular Instagram posts, and what that means is that once a post has a particular hashtag, then it's going to appear on Instagram's page for that specific hashtag. So for example, if you tag your photograph with the hashtag fine art portrait, there will be an Instagram hashtag page for fine art portrait, and your photo will be on it. And so people who are looking for content, like fine art portraits or literally anything else, they can be taken to that stuff really easily. You can also add up to 10 hashtags on your Instagram stories. And you can add tags to your Instagram bio as well. I'm not sure how many you can put there. Certainly one, and I definitely wouldn't want to spam the bio, but you can have one there. Definitely use your stories for them. If you don't want them to look ugly on your stories, you can. There are various ways that you can use that you can hide them. So, for example, if you have white text on white, it means that it won't look horrible, but people will still be able to find them. The main point of using hashtags is to make the tags relevant, and it's essentially to allow people to discover you and to follow your work, even if they don't yet know who you are. And so what that means is that the tags can help you gain new business. It can help you find a new audience or to grow your audience. And yeah, I mean, the importance of hashtags really can't be overstated. And on the flip side of that, it's very, very important not to use spammy hashtags or overused hashtags. For example, things like love or Instagood or picture of the day or TBT or any of those, those tags that you see again and again and again. They're essentially pointless. Because they're applied to such an enormously varied type of content that anybody searching for those tags is going to find. I mean, it's essentially going to be meaningless what they find. It's just millions and millions of posts which are essentially unrelated. So using relevant hashtags is super important. If you are posting high quality content and you are using relevant tags with them, it means that your work has a higher chance of appearing on Instagram's Explore page. So the Explore page is the area where Instagram shows users content which they think is similar to what users are already seeing within their regular post feed, and appearing there is really cool because it's a big audience really. And on your Instagram app, if you click on or tap on the magnifying glass icon at the bottom, that will show you the Explore page. And the stuff that appears on there is popular work, and so if your work goes on there, it really is going to be seen by a massive audience, which gets you new followers and gets you lots of new engagement on your work. Using hashtags successfully, I would say, comes down to communicating who you are and what you're about. They can be used for a variety of reasons. I mean, obviously, it's to help people find specific content, but you can use them to build a community or to help to build your business. You can use it for brand awareness, so you can make your own hashtags which relate to your own business. That's absolutely fine. Loads of people use Instagram to learn how to do things, so there are lots of how-to hashtags. But using relevant ones is super important. You can use Instagram's insights to see how your posts are doing with relation to the hashtags you're using. So if you have a creator or a business account, you're going to have an insights button. And I think if you just have a personal account, I don't think that there are insights on personal accounts, but it's easy and free to change to one of the other sorts. And if you go to the insights, you click on a post and then click on the insights, it can show you how well or how people are finding the post. So if they're finding it through hashtag search or the explore page or whatever it might be. Another important thing, in my opinion, is using a range of different hashtags on your posts. So you have space for up to 30. I mean, I tend to use 27, 28, 29 hashtags. I use lots because I want to, without being spammy, I want to be able to attract a wide audience essentially. So I do use loads. I think if you have an account with millions and millions of followers, if you're, I don't know, Carly Kloss or somebody like that, then obviously your audience is already there. But I'm trying to introduce my work to people that are interested in, purely in the way the work looks maybe, or if they're interested in products I might be selling or services I offer and so on. So I want to make sure that there's a decent range of hashtags. And having them with variety within the sets of hashtags means that you're going to be showing your work to slightly different audiences. And I'll go on to explain this shortly by showing you some of the work on my own account and a service that I use to help me to make groups of hashtags. And so not all of your posts are going to be along the same lines or the same themes. I mean, having said that, I think with a more general comment on Instagram accounts is that people need to know what your account is about. And I would say it's important to have a sense of unity about how the pictures look and the type of pictures you're taking, so that people know that when they go to your account, they know the kind of thing they're going to get, which again helps you build a good relationship with those people. I think it's more important to use niche hashtags. I mean, obviously don't use the spammy ones that I spoke about before. But I think social media is, it's where people come to form communities and to be part of a community where there are shared interests. And I think especially with the kind of work that we're doing within this group, I mean, obviously we do, a whole range of stuff, but there are some stylistic traits which are common to lots of the work that people here are producing, and that's why there's a sense of community here. And likewise on Instagram, the kinds of accounts that that we tend to follow are ones which often share our own interests. So when I look at my feed, I follow loads and loads of photographers, people that are to do with fashion or stylists or people within the film industry and that kind of thing, and it's quite a niche. Quite a niche following that maybe I have a niche following, but also the people I follow are quite sort of nichey, if I can use that word. And so really niching down, again, if I can coin an expression, is super important. Anyway, let's go to the computer now and I will show you some of the ways in which I achieve this stuff. Thanks. Okay, so here is my Instagram account. I thought it would be easier to show it to you on a computer rather than a phone because of the horizontal format, which I think will look easier in the video. Before I dive straight into the stuff about tagging, I just thought it was probably worth talking about how I've set up my profile. And this stuff may be really obvious to you, but I'm just going to go through it anyway. So you can see that regardless of what your username is on Instagram, I think it's always worth having your business name and your actual name on there as well, so that people can get to know and trust you and so on, and any other relevant information that you think should go there. I mean, I've got my geographic location on there as well, and I've got a plug for a product that I'm trying to sell, my main product. You can see the masterclass info there, and also this link that I've got here, the Linktree one, is really useful. Now, Linktree is a service that allows you to, it's a page on the internet that allows you to have URL links to anywhere you want. So I'll just show you mine. So normally with Instagram, it allows you to show one web link on the bio. So if you make that one link your Linktree, it can link to your Linktree, which is just here, and you can see that all the various things that I would like people to contact me for, or my products or my business services, or my social media stuff, is all here. So I think Linktree is super useful. It's free as well, so that's how I do it. Anyway, so let's scroll down and look at a post to see how the tagging works. Okay, so if I choose this post here, First of all, so I've written a nice and kind of welcoming caption. All my tags are there, and I'll go through those in a moment. The other kind of tagging that I do is tagging people. So if I just click on the sort of people tag over here, now the people that I've tagged in this image are obviously the person in the photograph, and the other organizations are the companies of the products that I use. And again, I'll give you a disclaimer that I'm not, I don't have any kind of sponsorship or anything from any of these organizations, but I tag them within the photographs because quite often they will post your work. These organizations are as keen as anybody to have good marketing and good imagery, and they quite often repost my work and obviously tag me in there. So that introduces people to my work who may not know me. So I always do that. Just a word of warning with this: please don't be tempted to tag people within your photos who are not relevant. I'm sure you won't. People do that to me from time to time. I'll find myself tagged in some photo which is somebody's picture at the beach or something. I don't know them. I'm not in the picture. I don't have anything to do with them. And really what they're doing is tagging you so that you look at the picture. So yeah, don't do that. Anyway, so I'll just close those up. And if we just scroll down and have a look at the tags that I've used, the tags are a mixture of things. Okay, so on the one hand, I want to describe what's in the photograph. So in this case, it's it's kind of model photography. It has a kind of fine art look, I guess you could say. So I have several tags which describe that. So I've got model shoot, which you can see right at the top, model photography, portrait perfection, portrait photography UK, which tells people where I'm based geographically. So I've got several tags demonstrating what's in the actual photo itself, and then I've got several more which are to do with the kind of product I am ideally looking to sell. So you can see now I've got learn photography skills, learning photography, creative photographer, photography class, learn fashion photography, all of those kind of things. And the point of those hashtags is for people who are looking to, or who may be looking to buy the kind of product or service that I sell. They can look at that photo, think, oh, I'd like to learn how to shoot like that. And so it's a way of bringing potential customers to you, or to certainly putting your work in front of those people. And yet a few other ones, world-class photography, photography workshops, and so on, that to help give a full picture of what's in the photo. Now, a cool thing that you will see with these hashtags, if I click on one of them, so for example, photography class, if I choose that one, and so Instagram opens up its page with other photos where people have tagged their photography with the photography class tag, and there's 218,000 of them here, so loads of them. So if you scroll down at the top there, you can see the most popular posts that have used the photography class hashtag, which is absolutely fine. And then lower down, you can see the most recent ones. Okay, so you can see someone slightly spamming the tag over here with those identical photos, but at the top you can see the ones that are doing the best. And just below where it's got the tag and the follow are related hashtags. So they are other hashtags which are similar to that. So you can have a look at those. So for example, if you are a photography student, you can click on that and find other hashtags, which are to do with being a photography student, I guess, which may also interest you. So that's one way of looking at everything. So if I just go back now. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the service which I use to help with my hashtags. So it's called Flick. And this is what it looks like. This is there are loads of online services, some of them paid and some of them free, which help you with your hashtagging. And Flick is the one. I mean, I think it's the best one. It's the one that has the most sort of good publicity, I would say. And I'll sort of preface this by saying I don't exactly know how it works, as in I don't know the black magic behind what they do, but it is really, really useful. So I just want to show you what you get with this. It's if you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, these sets here, Portraits 1, Portraits 2, and Color, are what Flick calls collections. So they're sets of hashtags. So if I just click on one of those, hopefully it'll load up. It's slightly slow internet in my studio. Okay, and you can see that it's got 27 hashtags within the group. Some of them that you've seen before, I think. And this essentially, I can save these sets of hashtags, and I've got an app on the on my phone as well where they're all saved. So Flick does its own app, and it means that you can conveniently copy and paste them out of Flick and into Instagram to add to your posts. So the way that it works is it can show you how, firstly, it knows what all the hashtags are, and I don't know how it does that, but it does do that. And it shows you how popular those hashtags are. So you can see the top one here, Photography Studio, is average likes of 54.8 thousand with 644,000 posts made. It shows you that the average comments are 388. So it's a really, really popular hashtag. And we can sort of go down. So Portrait Vision, which we have here, that is an enormous hashtag. It's got 6 million posts. And so it's able to rank these hashtags. And one of the most important things that it can do is it can tell you when you choose hashtags how popular they're going to be. So the idea of this is that you don't choose sets of hashtags which are all extremely competitive ones. And what that means is that you have massive accounts also using those same tags, which means that your work, if you use those tags, or if you use them too much, it's going to get pushed to the bottom. Okay, so for example, if I click on the search bar here, so here are all the kind of searches that I've made already. Let's just delete those so that we can start again fresh. So if I want to, I shoot portraits. So if I type portrait photography or portrait photographer, it's going to show me a whole load of hashtags which are related to that term. Okay, and you can see if I just click on all, it shows me the low competition, the medium competition, and the high competition tags which are linked to that. Now, for an account which is the same size as mine, I certainly don't want to be clicking on loads of high competition ones. So what I would do is a combination of some medium competition and probably more low competition, which means that I've got a bigger chance of appearing in people's searches. So if I click on, what about portraiture photography? What happens there? So I can add that to, so I thought this was going to link to a separate search, but it's not. So if I want to save one of these, so for example, portraiture photography at the bottom, I can click there. There's a couple of things that I can do. You can preview it in Instagram. So if we do that, you can see which other tags are showing that, which other photos are showing that same tag, which you can see here. So loads and loads of things in loads of different styles. So I'll just click off that. And then if you decide you want to add that to a collection, you can just click there, add to collection. And, I can put it in my test one, one that I made just for this video. So for example, if I am also doing black and white photography, I could make a new search for black and white. Click on the top one and see what appears. So you've got loads there. If you look at the bottom, there are 2 high competition ones there. So B&W photo or just plain old black and white. So I might use 1 or at most 2 in the high competition category, a few more in the medium one, and more than that in the low competition. Okay, and that's essentially how this works. That's how I do it. And I'm not, although I've said previously use different sets of hashtags, I need to practice what I preach a little bit more. I do sort of repeat them probably more than I should do. But that is how it's done. It's a really good service. It costs me $9.99 a month, which it's yet another kind of expense. But the nice thing about it is that you can just, if you wanted to subscribe for a month, use it to get really organized and work out all of the hashtag sets that you're going to use. You can work them all out, save them, and then stop your subscription. Then you could restart it if you wanted to. But it is very good. It's I do recommend it, and I think it's worth having, even if it's only for a bit. But that so I hope that's kind of useful for you. And I think with Flick, it's very good at finding niches. So if you let's put one more search term in. So fine art, or just fine art. Let's see what comes up. So if you search something like fine art, it's going to be, some of this is photography, but it's got stuff to do with painting, postmodern art, abstract art, and so on. So it's quite a broad term, but it's you can see how it's a good way of finding hashtags, essentially, if you don't even know where to start. So yeah, that is how I do it. I hope that's useful for you, and thank you for watching.